All right, so welcome everybody. We wanted to have our first virtual press conference, and we wanted to sort of do something different than what we've seen traditionally done, where usually it's the bodybuilding media sources like RX Muscle and Muscular Development, etc., that kind of do their own thing. But it's the other supplement media sources like Price Plow and Fitness Informant and Stack 3D that sort of do their own thing. And I thought, for fun, why don't we cross promote a little bit here, where we kind of, because we're all in the same industry, we just cover different aspects of it. So I thought it would be great to have the top media sources here together to talk shop. So obviously MuscleTech was formed in 1995. I'm with them now, as you guys know. And Eric Hesse is one of the key people here who I worked with back in the day at MuscleTech. But we obviously want to take the direction of the brand a little bit differently than what you've seen for the last 3 or 4 years. And so we've got an athlete that we've signed. Today is his first official day starting with us. Wanted to go around the room and see, does anybody know a guess on who it is?
It's Blessing.
Okay. Price Plow, guys?
I would bet $1 million. I bet $1 million on Nick Walker.
Okay, well, this would be good. Nick Walker. I will say he was one of them. Oh, okay, so he's looking at that with MuscleTech. So he's kind of dialed into what's happening here. So let me just tell him now to come on. Yeah, it is Blessing Awodibu, the Boogieman, board with us now. Multi-year deal. So really excited about it. And we're going to have him on right now just to sort of introduce us. And maybe, Eric, while I'm getting that set up, you can talk about some of the decisions that went into forming an alliance with Blessing.
Yeah, I just gotta say, Ryan, I'm very sorry it's not Big Rammy. And I know you had your hopes up there.
Blessing works. He's a good dude.
And you know what? And that's really the catalyst behind this. He is such a good guy. He's a pro that transcends the sport. He has the ability to not just, gain respect with everyone in the industry from a bodybuilding perspective. Has a great physique. He's won 2 shows this year. He's really up and coming. But he's been on the scene for so long. I mean, he's been around since 2017 on TikTok and social media, creating videos that I'm sure all of us saw long before we realized who he was. The video of him mugging at the grocery store in the camera, where he sees the security camera and then he pulls off a shirt and starts posing. That's classic Blessing. So when there was an opportunity to bring him on to Team MuscleTech, I mean, the first thing I did was tell Scott. I was like, literally, I'm like, got to get this guy. This guy will be the biggest thing that's happened to MuscleTech since Phil Heath, right? And we made it happen. And he was excited to join our team because of the legacy that we've had with some of the great bodybuilders that we've had as part of Team MuscleTech since 1998, 1997. So I'm excited to bring him on the team.
Since the Greg Kovacs days, Dave, I know you were instrumental with his career in the early days. I was on your show talking about the trip in Spain with Mr. Kovacs, which was all I kept hearing was Mr. Kovac, Mr. Kovac, Mr. Kovac. And then this Titan was towering out of stores, and it was just it was like King Kong in New York. But Blessing's just one of the things that reminds me a lot of Rich Piano, where it doesn't matter where he competes. He's an entertainer. He's a real personality. And I think it kind of makes bodybuilding fun to sort of allow, different people to get exposure to the Boogieman. And without further ado, here is the Boogieman. He's just going to, he's in right now. I guess he's getting, there he is. It's a Blessing. Welcome. This is the first virtual press conference that we've had in MuscleTech history. And glad to have you on the team. Obviously, please tell the group of media sources here what's on your mind.
What is going on, people? Wow, it's so good to see everybody here. I know a few people here. Dave, is that you, Dave?
That's me.
You look good, Dave. You look good. You're looking younger every time I see you now.
Yes.
Hey, good to see you guys, man. So I think this is a call to break the news to everybody that the Boogieman is now MuscleTech.
That's it.
It's amazing. Listen, Blessing, I just want to start by introducing the gentleman on the top right with the beard. That is Mike Roberto. He's the CEO of Price Plow. And this is obviously Benjamin Kane on the left with the beard, and he's with Price Plow as well. And then we have Ryan Buckeye. He's with Fitness Informant. He's got some amazing product with his Fit Butters. And obviously, you know this gentleman here with Eric Hesse from MuscleTech and Iovate, and Ron Harris, Muscle Development. I know that you guys have done all kinds of work together there. No introduction needed, and obviously Dave Palumbo. So we really value these people as the key leaders in the media industry of getting the news out there, and thought it would be great for us to sort of cross promote a little bit, because some of the supplement media sources don't get the sort of exposure that they deserve. And we thought that by putting you all in one area, and these guys have always been supporters of you and your career from back in the days with Trec Nutrition, and then, you know, moving over to Redcom when you relocated to Boca Raton, and now obviously the evolution here with you seeing with us. So very excited to have you. I love that little teaser. Did you guys see the teaser that Blessing did where he showed the different brands? Now the supplement guys, Blessing, what were some of the companies that were courting you to try to convince you to go on their team?
Oh man, there was a lot of great brand. You know, I have to just say thank you to a lot of these guys. You know, it feels nice to be wanted. You know, and there are a lot of brands out there that I really truly respect. You know, a lot of great brands like Rice. You know, that was a close call. And matter of fact, I actually had the contract on ready to go, and then the BSN as well. The contract was there ready to go. A brand from Brazil, Dragon Pharma, GATS got onto me as well. Rule One. There's a whole bunch of guys. You know, even there are a couple of guys that I wasn't able to reply back to their emails. You know, so as a professional bodybuilder, you know, having a sponsor, having a team behind you, it means a lot to us. You know, and you know, bodybuilding is like, you know, they say it's a one-man sport. No, it is not a one-man sport. You know, there's a lot that goes into bodybuilding, a lot of mental games. 90%, bodybuilding is 90% mental. If you don't have the right people behind you, the right team, literally, you know, you ain't going nowhere. So it feels good to be part of awesome team like MuscleTech, a legacy brand, and I've been around for so long. And like I said, you know, when I discovered bodybuilding in 2012, you know, most of the guys that I look up to, that I still look up to, Phil He, Dexter Jackson, Jay Cutler, Kate Kamali, Brent Warren, all these guys were sponsored by MuscleTech. I can remember one time, I think my first export, either it's FIBO or Body Power, Birmingham. All these guys were there. Philly was there. Dexter was there, all up at the same time at a MuscleTech booth. And it was impossible to get to any of these guys. You know, I remember the booth being so big and they were in a little room, and you know, to get to them, it was impossible. So it's so nice and so refreshing to be, you know, representing that same brand that all these guys came from. And, you know, I'm just super excited with, you know, what we got going on. And we've talked about a lot of things that we're going to do. So it's super exciting. And it's great to see MuscleTech coming back into the fitness industry. You know, as you guys know, MuscleTech makes a lot of the top supplements, you know, that are backed by science. So I'm just truly blessed, and it feels wonderful and awesome to be part of this team.
Now, in terms of giving back to it, obviously we're sponsoring the Olympia, and Muscle Development and RX Muscle are the places to go for the best in contest coverage of here. But I want to get now the bodybuilding guys on it. Obviously, Ron and Dave, there's a friendly rivalry. There's a mutual respect for the fact that you guys both are so passionate about bodybuilding and love what you guys do. But have you seen any athlete in recent times make the kind of changes that Blessing did from last year's competition season in 2021 into 2022, going back to the New York Pro and Indy Pro and winning both shows versus how he placed last year? The amount of changes that I saw in his physique, to me, obviously were quite impressive. What are your takes on that transformation in the last year, which didn't have to do with taking MuscleTech products, obviously, but it had a lot to do with, obviously, the genetic potential that he had as a competitor. What are your thoughts on those? Maybe start with you, Dave.
I'll let Ron go first.
Okay, sure.
The changes I saw, I don't think were so much a matter of changes in his physique as much as keeping muscle mass that he had lost in his prep last year working with Chad. For whatever reason, Chad gave him a lot of cardio. I think he cut his carbs way down. When he went to George fed him more food, took the cardio back, and Blessing was able to come in much bigger, rounder, and fuller, because so many of us were disappointed last year when he came out at the Indy Pro looking nothing like he had been looking in the progress pictures leading into the show. So I was very happy for Blessing. to see him come in the way I knew he could look and should look this year. And definitely major, major improvement. That's why he won back-to-back shows.
How are you, Dave?
Yeah, I agree. I think he found the formula that worked for his body, and you know, that's what really was the big transformation. I remember interviewing Dorian Yates, and I said, you know, how did you make such great improvements from 92 to 93 Olympia? You know, when you looked insane, right? And he's like, well, I really didn't improve that much. I just over dieted the year before. He's like, I realized I was overtraining and doing too much. And when I cut that back, he goes, I got the muscle back that I lost, and I came in with a better look. So, you know, bodybuilding is a journey. It's about, you know, figuring out how your body works. Not everyone's body is the same. Some people need more cardio, some people less, some people need more carbs, less carbs. You got to just find the formula that works for you.
Now, I want to get the take on the Price Plow crew. How important are building today's supplement brands, associating yourself with the right endorser? Like we see what Chris Bumstead has done and some of these other people have done. Do you feel that these, if they're done right, are a major benefit to a brand to associate themselves with the right spokesmodel?
It's kind of funny you brought that up. I wanted to ask Blessing what he was looking for in a sponsor, other than obviously, you know, payment is a huge thing, support for your career, but also like what you look for in a brand that you partner with. Because right now, especially with Blessing's following, authenticity between himself and his sponsors is going to be really, really key for his following to have any kind of buy-in. I think we can all tell when someone's just paid by someone, which is fine. You have to be supported by your brands, but having support from a company that is clear, that you can see there's collaboration, there's something going on between them other than an exchange of money, I think is really, really big for today's following. And as much as I love bodybuilding, I've always followed bodybuilding and I always will, there's a huge growth in the fitness industry, and that comes from mainstream gym goers that just happen to really enjoy the sport of bodybuilding, maybe not the competing of it. And so those people have to look up to someone. And I think most often we're looking at followers that want to see brands that are supporting people, and there's some sort of actual relationship between them. So that's my answer. I think what's really important on that. But as part of that, I really would love to know from Blessing, when you were looking at those different brands, and you had a wide variety of companies there that treat their athletes very, very differently. You brought up Rise. I feel like it might be appropriate because you already said it. You know, they have content creators with their athletes. They don't just look to their athletes to do that. So they'll bring them in-house and they'll do all sorts of stuff. Some other brands have them a little bit further away. I think MuscleTech is really cool because they usually have some very key athletes, and it feels like you're becoming one of those key athletes. So what can we expect from that collaboration?
So for me, right, you know, like you said, you know, there's a lot of brands reaching over, and what do I look for in terms of collaborating with a company? You know, who I work with is very, very important to me. You know, the relationship, you know, the opportunity to be free, you know, to be able to go back and forth, to be able to give ideas, you know, are so, so important to me. You know, I'm sure you guys, you know, follow my journey, and I'm not the type of guy that would jump from one brand to another. You know, I started bodybuilding since 2012. I've only ever been with 2 brands, you know. Not a lot of professional bodybuilders can say that, like literally, honestly. The first brand I was with, you know, I started with them. They're a Polish brand, great relationship. Well, I thought they were family. I was with them for 5 years, you know, since the start of my career. So we were able to build, I thought we built something special together. In 2017, when I started to capitalize on social media, marketing my name, came out with the name of Boogieman, you know, because I always said to myself, I don't want to be jumping from one to another. I found a supplement brand, create a relationship with them, and then from there, able to build my own brand along them, just to have that consistency, which is what MuscleTech got, you know. So 2017, everything took off for me. Social media took off, Boogieman took off. We came out with a Boogieman pre-workout, which is still selling to today, you know. But because I thought we were family, you know, that relationship, that bond is there, you know. So we launched our product before anything was signed. Well, when it comes to contract, you got to be careful. There's a lot of back and forth. No, you guys got to change this. You guys got to change this. So that took a while. But then we had to launch the product, a feeble 2017. So we did that. By the time the contract comes back to me, I actually remember I did a whole tour of Europe promoting this brand without getting paid. I went to literally every country in Europe. So by the time the contract came back to me, And my lawyer realized that they've trademarked the Boogieman to themselves. Of course, being young, not having enough experience, I should have trademarked the name Boogieman to myself or anything. So they took that name to the company, and they literally told me that, and I told them that we want this name back before we can sign it. And then they said, no, we cannot give you the name. We will have to fight you for it. So they were trying to bully me to sign the contract. They were my main income. They think I will never go anywhere. All I have to do, I will just end up signing the contract because I have no more money coming into me. So I decided to walk away, and I said to myself, I want to find somebody that I can create a relationship with, somebody that can take me to that next level. So we made that trip to the US. Of course, we met with Aaron Singerman. I went back to Ireland. A week later, he hit me up and he said, we'd like to work with you. Wow, this is crazy. Dream come true. I'm going to America, So we came out here, met the team. We started working together in 2020, started end of 2018. And I remember we started with Aaron, I don't care what a lot of people have opinions on Aaron. I will never forget what Aaron Singerman did for me. We always have respect for that man. And I remember telling him, I said, actually, he told me, he said, I don't ever want you to leave Redcon One. I want you to stay the rest of your career with us. And I told him, this is my dream. I want to find a team, a place where I can build myself, build my brand, build the other brand, so we can all grow together, and together we can create a legacy. So that was the plan, that was the goal. And then, stuff that started to happen, blah, blah. Aaron got to go away for some time. Everything changes, and things weren't what it used to be. And what I love about Redcon One that ended up fading away was the freedom of being able to be myself. I came into the sport of bodybuilding. I always say the phrase, I want to change bodybuilding. I want to add entertainment to bodybuilding, because I came up in a form of a gimmicky way, which is like a lot of people don't respect me for that, because they believe in order to be a professional athlete, professional bodybuilder, you have to be serious 24/7. All you do is hit your meals, go train, don't do nothing else. But whereas me, you see me running through the doors, do all this crazy stuff. So a lot of people don't respect that because they don't think it is possible to be that and be that. And when Redcon One came in, and I told him, look, listen, I have to be able to be myself. And back then, Redcon One, the type of brands that make fun content, they're very engaging to the things. They create stuff, they love creating, which is why we work so well together. But all of that faded away when, Aaron went away and all of this. And then, I got to the point where I had to sort of rethink, reevaluate what's going on. And things start to change. It doesn't feel like me anymore. I became less inspired, less motivated, because I don't feel like the team that are backing me still have that love for bodybuilding. It's like they sort of pulled away, which is like, okay, this is not me anymore, because I don't feel like they're really proud of what I'm doing because they're not showing it, So that's how that relationship sort of kind of deteriorated, and then it got me to think about, oh, listen, I think it's time for me to find a new team, find somebody that will believe in me, find somebody that would inspire me to be, myself again. And a lot of brands came in, like I said, relationship for me is very, very important. We met with a lot of people, we talk. When you meet people, you can feel the vibe, you can feel the energy, and from the get-go, I got to meet, was a FaceTime with Eric and Scott. And instantly, what I did not have with the rest of the guys that I spoke with was that connection, that energy, and the fact that they've been following my journey and they respect what I've been doing outside bodybuilding. And they saw that, the uniquity in what I'm doing, and I really appreciate it. And I feel like they are ready to allow me to be myself, to do what I do and literally just be myself. So, which is what I had in Redcon One. And, since that's faded away, I feel like, MuscleTech, everything just fit right. And, I think together we can create, awesome stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry for the whole blah, 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 blah. Hope you guys are still following.
And you're going to see some new exciting things. We're going to see flavor collaborations. You're going to see potential products in the future with Blessing. So this isn't just a, hey, here's our cell tech, go out and push it. Obviously, we have new products that we've been working on. We just wanted to make sure that we get the right people on our team and then head in the direction there. At the Olympia, we'll see our debut of the new MuscleTech and obviously LA Fit Expo and Arnold and all the different shows that you're used to. And we obviously hope to be working with RX Muscle and Muscular Development, Price Plow, Fitness Inform, and all the different media sources that matter, because we really want to reach that key person who really knows the labels, reads their products, knows the industry. And I really follow, obviously, the bodybuilding industry, and I think Blessing is a great athlete, and we support him in what he's trying to do with winning the Olympia. And obviously, that's a far goal. But outside of that, even if he didn't compete, he'd be a great fit. And I think the MuscleTech brand needs more humor, needs more personality, needs to have people behind it. You know, it's become very much, I mean, we have part of the University of Toronto, we have a lab that's there. We do human performance testing every year. We publish studies, but no one really gets to see the people behind that. And I think Price Plow and Fitness Informant has just done a really wicked job with, you know, some of the other companies like Rise and Glaxon and obviously Arms Race and people like that, with getting behind the layer. And we try to do that, but we really want to do it and continue to do it, because we obviously know that's where the consumer is, that's where the industry is. And after doing this for 27 years now, we're not going away, but we also want to use Blessing globally. So we want to have him around the world. And we're doing things at that level that a lot of people in the United States don't see, that of what do we do in Canada, what do we do in Australia, in Europe, in China, in Japan, you know, in Korea. We're manufacturing products specifically in Korea for Korea. There's things there that we've just focused on, but getting that edge back is why we're really happy to have you guys here today. Ryan, let me throw some question down here on the Fitness Informant side here for Blessing.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, the press conferences, you signed a major bodybuilder. I would say you signed a personality who happens to be a bodybuilder, which from a business perspective, I think is much more brilliant than, no offense to Big Ramy, love him, but Blessing, and you and I go back a little bit from Redcon days, he's going to do so much more for the brand from a global standpoint. I believe from a business perspective, with his impact on TikTok and social media, and you look at some of the biggest influencers who happen to be athletes in the space, Noel, who's over at Rise, phenomenal job to the point where they gave an equity stake in the company. Bumstead's YouTube channel, obviously massive, the most popular bodybuilder in the world, because he looks like a lot of people want to aspire to be like. But Blessing, for you, like you mentioned that Redcon gave you a lot of flexibility in the beginning to be you, and I think a lot of people became obsessed with you as a personality, and then just so happened to start following your bodybuilding path. Can we expect to see a lot of these viral-esque videos, this humor, this Blessing 110% with the MuscleTech team moving forward?
Exactly. You know, that's another thing, you know, like, you know, right now I feel so motivated. I feel like that passion, that motivation is back, knowing that, you know, MuscleTech are behind me and they're giving me the freedom to do what I do and to be myself. And one thing I didn't mention, the fact that they're so global. You know, I am not American. You know, I came from Africa. You know, I'm from Africa to Ireland. You know, so I've experienced multinational culture. And you know, the first company I'd work with, they brought me all over the place. We went to China. We went to all over the place in China so many times, all over the world. So I know what's like to be out there. I know what's like to be able to connect with your supporters. You know, like physically, not just through social media. When you travel to expos and meet these people, it's a crazy bond, you know. So knowing that MuscleTech are worldwide and they're ready to do all these things, go to China, go to Brazil, go to India. These are the things that inspire and motivate me. These are the things that I love to do. You know, when you're a bodybuilder and you get the opportunity to do those, it's honestly, it's priceless.
I think Kai Green proved that when he started obviously traveling around the world, he was able to build his own brand. Regan Grimes did the exact same thing, winning his pro card in Brazil, the Arnold Amateur, and just continued to travel around the world. I mean, a few years ago, we saw Regan Grimes throughout Europe doing the different pro shows that were there. And we specifically want to see Blessing compete as much as he wants to compete. you know, and we want to see him compete wherever he wants, anywhere in the world. And we want to support him on that, because we obviously want him to build his fan following up, and we want to have people around the world see the Boogieman, see what he's like. And I think that this is just a great opportunity for us, a great opportunity for him. And it's going to help us be the beginning of a lot of things that you'll see different about MuscleTech. So definitely excited for this. Any other questions? Any other comments? Anything further?
Yeah, congratulations. You asked how important it is. And honestly, just looking at like relationships, partnerships, and hiring, it is the most important thing a company can do. I mean, look at what's happened since we brought Ben in over here. It's been night and day. So obviously it's huge. My question is, on Blessing's story, he says, biggest collab in the fitness and bodybuilding industry, wait for it. And so now we know what it is. I wanted to ask if there are any specifics that we can know about, like the flavor collabs, or are there going to be any product pipelines that can be released right now?
Initially, flavor series, you definitely will see that. Obviously, we have a big pipeline of product innovations behind the scenes that we're working on. We're just getting things fixed within the specialty channel in the US first, so that we can leverage that to a consumer that appreciates innovation. You know, you can't just take a really high-end pre-workout like what you guys know to be, and then place that in a Walmart shop, and then you know, assume that that consumer is going to appreciate that level of price point and that level of innovation. So we really want to reach the people who want the best of the best. Obviously, we've sent all of you the EuphoriQ sample, which obviously had behind me, and with the paraxanthine. That's the beginning. There's other innovations that we've got exclusivities on that we're going to roll out this in 2023. And it's going to be exciting, but we want to make sure we have the right people. We want to make sure we have the right strategy in the independent channel and direct to consumer. I had a bit of a conference last week with the Price Plow guys, just explaining that at the level that Iovate is doing production runs, you know, if you're running 100,000 units of something, you can't exactly do a 1,000 limited edition drop, because the factory doesn't want that business. So we have to obviously to change to be competitive within the direct to consumer business. We have a whole team that's behind the scenes building that, but we obviously have to get the right spokesmodel and then the right distribution strategy, which we've been fixing behind the scenes on that. But MuscleTech is definitely back. You're going to see it at the Olympia. You're going to see continuous next year, and you will see new products coming out with the Blessing involved in it quite heavily. And we plan on having that roll out in 2023.
Well,
My only follow-up question would be to Blessing, if you've tried the EuphoriQ pre-workout yet.
Yes, I did. It's actually one of the first pre-workout, one of the first supplements I tried from MuscleTech. And it's funny enough, when I was playing with people and teasing them on my YouTube channel, and I told them the flavor of what I was trying, not saying what it is or what company it's from. It's actually funny how much the amount of people that actually went and do their research and discovering that it's actually a pre-workout from MuscleTech and it's EuphoriQ, you know. And Jesus Christ, probably one of the best pre-workout I've ever tried. You know, I'm not a caffeine guy. That's why I don't take pre-workout too often. I take only on the days that I really, really need it because of the, you know, negative drawback that it's kind of weird for me. You know, so knowing that caffeine is being replaced by, you know, affinity paraxanthine, which is something that sounds from the future. Even the bottle itself looked like something from the future. I'll call it the Tesla pre-workout.
Now, Blessing, tell them the story about the fan that guessed it was MuscleTech. This is a great story, and how he figured out that it was us.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the day, you know, I posted on my YouTube. I was taking a pre-workout. Didn't tell them what it was or whatever. I just told them it's a flavor, and I said, you guys can guess what company does a pre-workout in watermelon candy. So there was one particular guy, and he said, okay, right now you got two offers coming at you. You got one from Rice and you got one from MuscleTech. I was like, who are you? And he said, okay, listen, I did my research. 2 weeks ago, I noticed you were following two brands, MuscleTech and Rice. And then a week ago, I discovered that you followed Rice. And Rice used to do watermelon candy, but they discontinued it. And the only active company that does pre-workout watermelon candy is, one of them is MuscleTech. I was like, wow. Oh, shit. Pretty crazy.
Okay, so Dave, predictions going into the Olympia. How do you think Blessing will do? Obviously, this is your lane fully, and we've got Big Ramy is totally stacked, and we've seen the progress photos there. He's going to be obviously tough to beat, but obviously we've got Nick Walker's getting a lot of excitement around him. We're not sure on the Hadi Chupin if he's going to get to. I'm not sure if he got his immigration stuff figured out.
He's here. He's here.
He's here. Okay. So where do we sort of see the Olympia and the Boogieman this year?
Okay, Dave, don't be shy now. Be as nasty as you can be.
Top 10
I
for
can
sure.
say critics. I'm not
Top
Ian
10.
Valaire. Hit me with it. Hit me with it.
Top 10 for sure.
That's easy. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
No doubt.
I didn't expect that from you, but that's nice.
Absolutely top 10. Absolutely. There's no doubt. You know, I always tell people it's impossible to if you think that every person is going to show up in the best shape of their life, you're out of your mind. Maybe 30% will show up at their best, which means that the guys that show up at their best are going to be pushed up a lot higher than most people think. So that's why I say top 10 for sure, but you could be higher than that, you know, way higher, especially if some guys who we're billing as top 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 guys show up out of shape and then they get pushed down the rankings. So it's impossible to make good predictions for the Olympia because we don't know, unless I'm living with every single guy and know what they're doing on a daily basis to see their body. We're just guessing based on what we think their best is, you know.
Hey, Ron, how about muscular development? Where are you placing the Boogieman?
I'll answer that, but I just have one quick question. Is the term multi-year? Are you saying anywhere how many years it is, or are you just saying multi-year?
I'll leave that to Eric Hesse. He's been here a lot longer than I am in terms of how much he wants to reveal.
Yeah, Ron, it's a long-term partnership. It's more than 2 years.
More than 2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
So, you know, we really wanted, like Blessing said, we really wanted to form a long-term relationship. This isn't something that we're just looking to dabble in. You know, we're back supporting bodybuilding in a big way, and this kind of reaffirms that by putting this investment in more than 2 years. So we're excited about that.
MuscleTech used to have a lot of athletes, as you know. At one time, we managed, when I was there, 150 athletes under contract.
Ooh, wow.
And there's really nobody at the time. We missed Ronnie Coleman. We had it down with Jay Cutler and Gunther Scherlekamp and Ronnie. Those are the 3. We didn't expect BSN to snatch up. Ronnie Coleman didn't know he was on the market. We thought he was locked down with ABB Weeder at the time. But Eric was here right from the beginning and was involved in signing Chris Cormier, Lee Priest, who I know is with Species, does a phenomenal job there. And then any of the other athletes, Albert Pujols, who else, Eric, over the years?
Darren Charles, Gustavo Bedell, Dexter Jackson, you guys already know.
Everybody.
Yeah, the list is massive.
John Bones Jones.
Yeah.
So many athletes.
Butt dudes. Yeah. So
Do you have Henry Cavill? Is he under contract with you guys?
Yes.
Wow.
Hey, I'm on the same team with the Superman, bro. How about the Boogieman X the Superman?
I want to see that video.
No, it's a lot there. I mean, I can tell you guys firsthand as industry fanatics like we are of the category. When I was doing some formulations for Iovate and sort of seeing some of the quality control, I mean, when you're a large company, our parent company is a publicly traded company in China. So the fact that we can't do what some of the other companies can do in terms of, you know, using different ingredients that we'd obviously want to use personally, we can't do a lot of that stuff. But the things that we can do, the volumes of creatine we buy with our 6-star division or diet pill business, Hydroxycut's #1 selling diet pill in North America, I think in the last 15 years. We bought our competition when we acquired Zenadrin, you know, which was the #2 at the time. So the history is there. The amount of research that we fund globally is just something that we haven't told that story well enough, and that's our fault. But we'll be getting back to that. We'll be getting the edge back. And that really, you know, is part of the plan of getting back to the shows with the Olympia and the LA Fit Expo and the Arnolds and everything like that, and being very much a part of the fabric of the industry. We obviously recognize the industry has changed quite a bit, but that's why we're excited to work with you guys and work with the Boogieman. And I think we're going to have some fun doing some wacky stuff. And hopefully we get Blessing to dive into a tub of NitroTech in his bathtub like he did before with his protein. No, you don't have to do that.
No, just kidding.
One more, it's not really contract, but a lot of people were concerned for Blessing's work visa situation when Redcon and him parted ways. Can you say anything about that? Is everything cool with that now? That because we want you in the USA. I don't want you moving to Canada.
In terms of visa, everything's all right. We have everything under control. I've got one of the best immigration lawyer in Miami, so we doing okay.